You ever wonder why sex, the thing that's supposed to bring us closer, can sometimes feel like the most complicated part of a relationship? It's like there's this weird disconnect between our hearts and, well, our bodies. It can be super confusing. Okay, so let's dive in and try to uncover the hidden blueprint that connects the two.
And this is a big deal, not some small issue. I mean, check out this number. For happy couples, sex might make up, say, 15 to 20% of their overall relationship happiness. But for unhappy couples, wow. They point to problems in their sex life as the cause of 50 to 70% of their distress. That is a massive difference.
So that brings us to the big question, right? If sex is supposed to be this fundamental, intimate thing, why does it turn into a battleground for so many of us? Well, the answer isn't what you think. It's not about new techniques or how often you're doing it. It's about something way, way deeper.
Yeah. To get to the bottom of this, we've got to look at what I like to call our relationship blueprint. You can think of it like a secret operating system that's just running in the background of all our romantic relationships. And there's actually a really powerful psychological framework that explains this whole thing.
And that framework is called attachment theory. Now, what it basically says is this. Our need to form a deep, secure, emotional bond with someone. That's not just a nice to have, it's not a preference, it is a hardwired biological need. It's just as real and fundamental as our need for food or water.
The guy who founded this whole theory, John Bowlby, he really nailed it. And this isn't just some leftover stuff from childhood either. This drive to connect is a primary motivator for us our entire lives, from cradle to grave. And it especially shapes our love lives.
And this whole complex operating system, all our anxieties, our joys, even our fights, it pretty much all boils down to one simple primal question. A question we're constantly and usually subconsciously asking our partner.
And that question is, are you there for me? That's it. That's the whole thing. What it really means is, will you be there when I need you? Can I really count on you? Our entire feeling of safety and security in a relationship, it all hangs on the answer we feel we're getting to that one question.
Okay, so what happens when we feel like the answer to that question is no, or even just maybe? Well, our brains instinctively kick into gear, and we fall back on different strategies to try and get that feeling of connection and safety back.
These strategies tend to fall into three main styles. You have secure people, who generally feel pretty confident that their partner is there for them. But when we feel insecure, most of us lean one of two ways. There's anxious, where the biggest fear is being abandoned. And then there's avoidant, where the biggest fear is being smothered or losing your freedom.
And this really breaks down those two insecure strategies perfectly. They're basically mirror opposites of each other. See, if your strategy is anxious, your core fear is abandonment. So what do? You hyperactivate, you lean in, you pursue, you text more, you're always looking for reassurance. But if your strategy is avoidant, your core fear is being controlled or losing yourself. So you do the opposite. You deactivate, you pull away, you create distance, you suppress your emotions to feel safe again.
All right, so that's the theory. But how does the secret operating system actually affect our day-to-day behavior? Well, let's take a look at how it plays out in everything, from who we date all the way into the bedroom.
Believe it or not, your attachment style can actually predict how quickly you'll have sex with a new partner. It's a pretty direct reflection of that deep underlying need for either safety or distance.
And this isn't just a theory, we actually have the data. Back in 2013, a study from Brigham Young University looked at this exact question. How does someone's attachment and security influence when they decide to have sex in a new relationship? And what they found, especially for women, was really interesting. Anxious attachment, that was linked to having sex earlier. Why? Well, it's likely a strategy to try and secure that bond fast and calm down that fear of abandonment. On the flip side, avoidant attachment was linked to having sex later in the relationship, probably as a way to keep that emotional distance and avoid feeling trapped too soon. The study actually didn't find a significant link for men's styles, which is interesting in itself.
Okay, but it's not just about when we start having sex. This whole blueprint also shapes why we have sex, even in a long-term, ongoing partnership.
Take a look at this breakdown. It's pretty clear. If you're secure, sex is mostly about increasing closeness and intimacy. Simple enough. But if you lean anxious, sex can become a tool, a way to get reassurance that you're wanted and to avoid feeling rejected. And if you're avoidant, well, sex can be almost totally detached from emotion. It might be more about feeling good about yourself, or even just doing what you think you're supposed to do. So all of this, it leads to a pretty surprising conclusion about what really fuels desire and makes for a great sex life. And spoiler alert, it's probably not what we've all been told by pop culture.
I mean, think about it. The cultural myth, what we see in movies, what we read in books, is that passion needs danger, right? A little mystery, a little distance. But the reality, according to attachment science, is the complete opposite. Real, lasting passion doesn't just survive on safety. It thrives on it. It thrives on that deep, secure feeling of knowing your partner has your back.
So how do you build that safety? It really comes down to three key things. First, being accessible. Basically, can your partner get your attention when they need it? Second, being responsive. When they reach out, do you respond to them emotionally? And third, being engaged. Are you actually present with them, not just physically in the room? These are the absolute building blocks of a secure bond.
And this quote just nails the ultimate payoff. Because when you have that foundation of safety, sex completely transforms. It's no longer about managing anxiety or getting reassurance. It becomes what it's really supposed to be. Intimate play, a safe adventure. It becomes a space where you can finally be totally vulnerable, totally expressive, and just truly connect.
So I want to leave you with this thought. We spend so much time and energy looking for new tips and tricks to improve our sex lives. But what if the key isn't a new technique at all? What if the most powerful aphrodisiac on the planet has been right in front of us the whole time? The profound and honestly thrilling safety of just knowing that the person you're with is truly, deeply there for you.